Hi everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Today we've got in a Riccar 8400, which is an old Japanese machine. I've done this a couple of times before as a returning customer. It was last due 2011 to be serviced, so it's only 14 years out of service. So it was done 15 years ago by me. And it's come back, so yeah, it's still going strong. Let's just give it a quick run. These are well known for having a broken hook drive gear, which you can still get, I think. I haven't done one for a little while, but I'll show you the gear when I've got it apart. I'm just going to run it, take the bobbin case out. It doesn't sound great, but everything's turning. That's moving, needle bar's moving, tensions, everything's moving. Bobbin winder, that's tight, so we need to loosen that off. It's turning. Everything's moving like it should be, so that's good. So it's a standard service, no dramas, hopefully. Bit of a busy couple of weeks in the workshop trying to catch up with all the school work. So we take the needle plate off first. I'd imagine after 15 years it's going to have quite a bit of fluff in it, so we'll blow that out with the compressor. Oh yeah, lots of fluff. I don't know if you can see that there, but there's a lot of fluff down here. You can see me pick it out with a needle. That's in the teeth of the feed dog. The problems that will cause will basically be the fabric won't move properly because the teeth can't come up enough because the fluff's stopping it coming through the plate. So that would cause very short stitches. It's an easy fix, just remove the fluff. I will blow it out in a minute, but just get rid of the main fluff. As you can see, lots of fluff on this one. Okay, what we do next is we'll take the top off. It's a flat screwdriver. So I use that one there. So under here you'll see the cam, the pattern selector, obviously the main shaft, same as any other machine. Probably be very dry after 15 years of no oil. That's all working. That's the insides. There's the pattern selector. It lifts this up here to create stretch stitches on buttonholes. So those three positions are buttonholes. Doesn't actually do a stretch stitch, this one, I don't think. No, it doesn't. So you've got three buttonholes, you've got a three position zigzag, a blind hem and a straight and zigzag. So it's a nice simple machine. Bulb in there which is not working. Now it is. Turn the switch on. And then we'll spin it round. I'll show you the back. This will be where all the fluff is, and also I'll show you the gear, which is quite a common fault on these to go. Broken gear. Blow out. So there's the gear there. I'll just inspect that for damage, which there is none, which is good. There's no cracks. What normally does is this splits across here, opens up the gear and stops it turning. And the only way to fix it is to change the gear, but it's really easy on these because all you do is undo these two screws. There's only actually that screw and that screw, if you can see that. There's a screw there, loosen those off, and that just pulls off. And then obviously when you put the new one on, you've got to re-time up the hook, but we're not doing that job today, so I shan't bore you with that one. take the end off, and then cap here. This will be a nice quick service, this one, hopefully. Just got to make sure we get rid of all the fluff. There's bits of cotton wrapped around places. Tweezers for that. Just here there's some. Check the gap, little gap there that lets the cotton through. I think that's a little bit tight, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to loosen that off. Just see what I do here. Just loosen these two screws off here, just to pull that away, and then we can get. I'll take the whole thing off because it'll be easier. What this is called, I think it's probably called the hook stop. You see there, there's, hopefully you can pick that up, there's cotton wrapped around that. This little finger here goes into this race here and holds that still so it doesn't move, and the hook around it turns. What we're going to do before we put that finger back, I'm just going to drop some oil into that, not too much, and just check it's not too stiff. But it isn't. Sometimes they go really stiff, in that case you've got to take the whole hook out, strip it down, but you don't need to as a general rule of thumb. It's nice and loose. You don't want to put too much oil in these because it's very close to where your fabric is. You don't want to fill up all your nice fabric full of oil. So that's nice and loose now. So what we do now, we put this back at the 12 o'clock position. Grab the finger, which I've lost. Can't see it for looking. There it is. That's the finger there. It's got a little spring on it, which just moves slightly as this hook spins. The secret to putting this back properly is just to get that finger into the gap of the 12 o'clock position on the hook there. And what I'll do, I'll just loosely put these screws in. Get it in position, and then what I need to do then is just set the gap between the end of the finger and the bit it's going into on the hook. And what you want to do is leave enough gap just to let the thread through, because the thread goes round the bobbin case and gets pulled back up. If you close the gap too tight, it can't pull back up. Hopefully it makes sense. So what I need to do is just loosely tighten these up, just barely finger tight, just so I can move this back and forwards. A little bit too much. That's it. So that's all the way in. If you can see that, that's all the way out. You need to get it somewhere in between. If you leave too big a gap, this can come out of the gap and then let the thing spin and jam the machine up, and it'll have to come back to me to be put back on. Don't really want to be seeing it back. So let's get a smaller screwdriver there. I'm just going to nip that up, check the gap, it's too tight, it's quite fiddly. That's about it there. If you're doing this yourself, once you've done this bit, pop the bobbin case in, thread the machine up and just run it once by hand, and then you can fill. the thread goes round and you can just pull it up without it getting caught. If it gets caught, you're going to get bad tensions. If it jams, you're not going to get any. It's just snap the cotton. So you've got a nice gap there now. Probably should test it myself really. I'm pretty sure that's okay, but I'll just show you what I mean by testing it. So put the bobbin case in. You don't need a bobbin. Pop that in position. Get a bit of thread. We're just loosely going to thread this up. I don't need to, I'm not going to sew with it like this. I just want to make sure that the needle goes round, thread goes down, needle goes, the hook goes round, grabs it. Put a new needle in. Just to show you really. I'm pretty sure that gap's fine. Okay. Thread this up. That's it. So I'm going to take it down, back up, and pull. That's it. So down, up, pull. And that's not getting caught. You can see it's coming straight back up. Not getting jammed, so that means that gap's open enough to let it through. Now unthread it. Leave that alone. Take the bobbin case out. I'm going to give it one more blow. Drop of oil at the back there where the thing spins. That's good. We need to take the bottom off of this as well, which is just a couple of big. They shouldn't be tight because I did them up last time and I don't do them. I don't over tighten them. And now these two here. This will take the base off. Let me get to the shaft underneath to oil it. Blow any fluff out. Oh, excuse me, I've got a bit of a throaty cough today. Right, take that off. Again, more fluff to blow. Got a wipe. I tend to use paper towel rather than rags because use rags, they just get dirtier and dirtier. As paper towel, use one per machine and it's clean. Just get rid of fluff and polish it up at the end when it's all together. Right, that's there. So we've got the main shaft here going through. That bit there, I can oil that bit at the back, this bit at the front. Just going to put a drop of oil on the main shaft and bearings. Again, if you've seen my other videos, you'll know just oil in the right places, not too much. That's good. I shall oil the needle bar, put it into zigzag. Which is there. Long stitch, which is there. I can now oil up the needle bar. That's good. Spin it round. I'm going to take this side panel off. Helps me get to the working parts. Another screw at the bottom here. Hopefully you're seeing this. Yep. A couple of screws on this side panel. Put that down. You've got the main gear here for the belt, motor belt gear, or pulley, not gear, it's pulley. Put that back in. Get some oil into that pulley. Sorry, I got my head in the way. What I need to do now is loosen off this because it's dead tight. So what I'm going to do is put a pair of pliers under the needle bar, which will stop the main shaft moving, and then just loosen that off. And now it's off, I can now unscrew the centre wheel, oil the main shaft under here, and then that'll stop the machine spinning when you're winding the bobbin. Oh God, that's tight on there. That shouldn't be that tight. I'll just get some oil into that now, like so. And that's spinning loose now. Moves a lot easier than it did 2 seconds ago before I oiled it. So that's good. That's lovely. Put this back on. There's 2 places it can go. Try it with this little tag at the top first. To screw, so that will be the right position, I think. Find that screw. Oh. That's good. So that goes up now and releases. That's perfect. Put this side plate back on. Put these 2 screws on. I did before I started filming. Check the electrics. The plug had the wrong fuse in. It had a 13 amp. You don't need 13 amp for these appliances. I put a 3 amp in there. Check the connections. So that's a little job I did before I started filming. And now we need to work some oil into the shafts and the bearings. Just tighten that wheel up again. Not too tight. Certainly sounds a lot better than it did. Let's watch all the moving parts. It's not too many on this. Just need to blow this out a little bit. I think it's got something stuck in it. That's better. All these little bits that move just need a drop of oil on them just to keep them going. Obviously oiled it well last time because everything's still moving nicely. Normally when you get machines that haven't been looked at for 15 years they can be a bit dry and clunky. There's no signs of customer oiling it themselves, so it does look a bit dry, but so nice. Not too much, just checking for cotton wrapped around any areas. And there isn't any, which is good. Okay, it certainly sounds a lot better than it did. And then we'll spin it round and we'll get some oil into the back. Again, you've got a little drop of oil on there, and there, and there. Oil in it does help protect gears like this because you're keeping it all free. If it wasn't oiled, there's a chance that a bit of it will jam and this bit stays loose, and if it jams up and it's spinning quite fast, it can just break these gears away. That's why it's good to do a bit of preventative servicing. Makes your machine last longer. As I say, you can still get these gears, so if it ever did go, we can still sort it. One of the easiest gears to fix on a machine. It's certainly running nice. Put this back on. Screws, which is these two. Two screws hold the back panel on. Fiddly getting these screws on, and they're flatheads, not Phillips, so I can't even do it with a screwdriver easily. Just do this one up. That's it. I'm not going to do this one now. It's magnetic, this screwdriver, so it holds it all in place. Yes. That's good. Just want to tighten these screws up for the hinges for the door. Then we'll put the underneath back on. I'll put the side on first. That's good, all lines up. We get the base. We'll use the electric screwdriver for this one. Not all the way, just get them on loosely so it all lines up. That one there, which is like another foot, rubber foot. That one, and that one. It's all good. Just going to check the bobbin winder, it's nice and loose. Put a drop of oil on it, not too much. As I said before, you don't want to get it on the rubber winding wheel, which is this part here, the rubber. You don't want to get any oil near there. So just oil it at the top. There's a bit there that doesn't move and a bit that does. You want to just drop a bit of oil in that position. Do these up loosely. Check the bobbin winder works. See, at the moment it doesn't. Just push the top across traction. Make sure the bobbin winder's turning. And hold it in that position so that the bobbin winder turns. Just screw these down. One there and one there, and that'll hold it in position. Perfect. Okay. I'll just take the needle out just to check that was in the right way round. I'm sure it was. Just like to check. Tapping sound there. I'm just trying and put a drop of oil in. Now this part here is a feed dog drop mechanism. You push that in. It's really tight, so that's probably never been used. It's just blocked up again. What I'm going to do is push that hard. Oh, it's so tight. It's never been used, I don't think. And then back again. I'll have to just lever that with a screwdriver. That one maybe. I don't want to do it too much because it'll break it. It's very tight. Normally it's not very strong metal. I don't want to break it. I'd rather just leave it alone if it's going to have any chance of breaking it, because you won't get this part. I'll try and ease it back a bit. That's it. If I just ease it back and forwards a few times, I might better work some oil into it. Put WD-40 down it. I don't really like using this so near the hook, but I want to try and fix this if I can. It's not something the customer's ever used, I don't think, but she might want the chance of using it if it did work. It's just a matter of working it back and forwards. Very tight. Just going to wipe some of this WD-40 away. boring to watch this bit, but I want to try and get that moving. It's moving back and forwards. So if it's going to be too tight, I shan't go too mad with it. I just don't like to be beaten. Oh, so tight. I'm wondering if I can take the washer off that's holding it all together. I don't really want to. Sorry about the compressor. Trying to try and get that off. A little washer there that holds it all on. I'm thinking if I can get that off, I might want to get some more lubrication into the joint. There you go. Mustn't lose that. Let me just put that out of the way. We're safe. Then that might just go to the left. I can get it moved across a fraction and get some oil into it, maybe. Another washer there. Over there. Right, so now we've got to the main shaft. There's a little slot in that for that washer to go in. So if I can get some oil into that, work it back and forwards, now we might be able to free it up a bit. Just very tight. I think it's going to be one of these jobs where I've got to do this for 10 minutes, but I'm going to persevere. What I might do is shut the camera off and come back to it once I've freed it, but all I'm doing is rocking this back and forwards, and that's pretty boring to watch. Right, welcome back. That was fiddly, but I'll show you what I've achieved. Okay, so we've loosened that off. We took the actual washer off the side to loosen the whole thing off. And now you can see that lifts the feet up, that drops them down. And that's how it should be working. It was a little bit fiddly, but that's moving nice and freely now. They probably never be used, but I like to persevere with things. Right. I caught my finger on the needle and bent it while I was trying to do it, so I'll put another needle in. But yeah, I'm much happier now because that's lovely. And that goes up and down as it should. If the customer wants to do some embroidery. Put this plate back on. And now we're ready to It took me about 15 minutes to free that off. I didn't film it because it's quite boring watching me pushing the thing back and forward. Little spring washer I lost, trying to put it back on again, so I had to replace that. Got a nice big box of those because they're always pinging off and losing them spring washers. And they're black, and I think it's gone over there somewhere. So we're not even going to look for that, but I had some more tucked away. Okay, I think we're pretty much ready to sew it in now. Just check the tensions, that's releasing okay. Put it on 0. Get an old needle and just clean out any muck in between. Don't need to take this all the way off, as long as it's clean. And we can set up the tension in a minute. Okay, first thing to do is wind the bobbin. Check the bobbin winder's winding correctly. Put that on there, there, around there. Bobbin on the winder. Oops, sorry, not the camera. Thread that round a few times, release the side wheel. It's winding nicely. I'm just going to check the bobbin case tension spring. It's got no fluff behind it, which it hasn't. Okay, this drops in under the spring and check the tension. That's perfect. It's just hanging on its own weight and drops if you shake it. That's a good tension. Pop the sewing foot back on, zigzag foot. Get that out of the way. Far too many screwdrivers, but I sort of use them all. Just the little pink ones I was using. That's it there. Just going to tighten the foot up. Right. What I'll do now, just thread the machine, make sure the foot's up, which releases the tensions. It goes through the hole. We know the gap's right in the hook because we checked that earlier. Needle threads from front to back. Okay. Get ourselves a bit of fabric. On straight stitch, give it a sew. Check the reverse, it's working. Well, that looks a nice stitch, yep, pleased with that. Give it a bit of a zigzag, a bit wider, a bit shorter. It's a lovely stitch, top and bottom. Pull that out. Okay. Right, full width, quite short. Brand new, this machine's lovely. I do like a Riccar. Oh, give it a bit of a blind hem to do. Triple zigzag. Certainly runs well. Put it on there. I haven't got a buttonhole foot, but we'll give it a go. That's all good. And that, I shall show you. It's good. So it's doing all the stitches, nice zigzag, proper peaks front and back, bit of a blind hem, triple zigzag, and not a bad buttonhole. You can see I did have a buttonhole foot on. So that's that. We can leave it threaded up because it's the customer's thread. Last thing to do is to put on tension 5 because it's good tension. That's it really. Next thing to do, clean it up. Put a new sticker on it. I'll do that now, and it's due in a year's time. Not 15 years time. It's nice when they come back, whenever. Most people don't bring them back until they go wrong again. That's all doing. So my favourite bit is obviously I've fixed that, because I don't know if that's seized up since last time or it never was working. Can't remember now, it's 15 years ago. That's all good. The verse is working. Give it a clean up, give the customer a ring, let her know it's ready. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, it does help. Got any questions, give me a ring or find me on the website, or got my email address, you can write to me or just comment on here and I always reply if I can. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.